Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we got a special little one for you. Today we have our first ever custom on the channel, and this is the Curtiss Knives ODT, standing for Original Dog Tag. I want to thank my brother Quent again. This is another little piece from his collection that he let me borrow to do a review on. Very compact, very interesting, and just a cool little fifth pocket knife, or dog tag, as Curtiss refers to it as. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and follow along, and I will do my absolute best to keep pumping out some pretty good content for you guys to check out. Now let's run down some quick specs on this little knife. We have an overall length of 3 inches, a blade length at 1 inch, but there's a cutting edge, as you can see, of 2 inches, which is very nice and can make this blade a little extra useful. We have a blade material of CTS XHP, which is a fantastic steel, with a stone-washed flat grind, handle length coming in at 2 inches, handle thickness at 0.52 inches. This is a beefy little sucker. Handle material of titanium, 2.42 ounces. So for the size, it would probably be considered heavy, but 2.42 ounces is light pretty much any way you look at it. This is proudly made in the USA and not too far from my own neck of the woods of where I grew up. So this is has a little more meaning to it. It's always awesome to find a knife that is made by a relatively well-known knife maker, and he's just in your backyard, so that's pretty cool. And this guy was coming in at $325. Like I said, this is a pretty much a full-on custom. Not so much necessarily in all the colors and bling, but it is completely hand-made by Curtiss. I believe he uses a CNC machine, but still, completely made by him, assembled by him, and it comes with its own little certificate of authenticity from Curtiss Knives, custom made. On the back, you see it is the ODT flipper, CTS XHP, titanium handle, date of birth 1/30/18. I believe that says S5 or SS hardware, and his signature. So it's pretty much the real deal. This is really cool. I like this a lot. Very unique little piece. Let's do some size comparisons real quick, because it's hard to tell exactly by the hands just how small this knife is, because it is, there's no way getting around it. It's a small knife. Very small knife. Let's compare it to the Cold Steel Mini Tough Light, another one with a pretty much a 1 inch, maybe a little more than 1 inch cutting edge. So as you can see, I'll try and line the pivots up. I don't know if that really helps or not, but... And then the CRKT Squid, that's a hard one to flip out. That thumb stud is in there and doesn't have the best action to begin with. But there you go. I think everyone knows the size of the Squid. If not, I think the Tough Light would help. But the Squid is probably the more recognizable one of the two as far as hand experience from all you viewers out there. So definitely, very small knife. This is literally the size of a dog tag, if you haven't guessed that already, which you're probably all smarter than me, so I'm sure you know that. The size of a dog tag when it's closed. Let's compare it to the size of a Spyderco Dragonfly, and last, but certainly not least, the ever so sexy Protect Sprint. We will stick that right there, so there you go. That should be some pretty good size comparisons to give you guys an idea of just exactly the size of this knife. And it's just a little guy. There's no getting around that. It also came in this really cool little pouch that Curtiss gives with his knives. Let's stick it in there. It's even got a little pouch to put it in. Super soft and velvety. Really nice little touch to it. For $325 for this size of a knife, it should probably come with this, and I like that it does. Nice little pull-off patch that you can stick on whatever you want. Curtiss is spelled with 2 S's if anyone's interested, if you ever want to go look up his stuff, because he does have some pretty nice offerings. They're not cheap, though. This is by far the cheapest knife from him. A lot of his fuller size models are coming in north of $700. For good reason, though. Everything I've seen from this is super, super just overbuilt beauty. we'll get deeper in that here right now. Let's talk on the blade. Let's see if I can get this out again without... I did. That's 2 in a row. That's kind of rare for this knife. So the blade. First of all, I love the CTS XHP. Just a very good steel. Really right along the lines of S35VN, with a few minor differences, but pretty close as far as overall performance there. Extremely useful little blade. Obviously, the first thing you guys may think of, which is what I thought of, is, open up boxes with this thing. I mean, that would just be a breeze to open up any boxes. And if it's this small and you can throw it in your 5th pocket or basically any pocket and not be that bad, if you have a dedicated box or package opener, that's okay, because this guy can do that. But what it would also do is make a great little scraper. If you ever had to, scrape some goo or something up, this would be a perfect little piece for that. So you would find a lot of uses for something like this in your day-to-day, I think. The blade is actually perfectly centered, which is always nice to see. Perfectly centered for such a small, beefy little blade. Very beefy little blade. So something that's worth pointing out, this thing it's like a rock right now. There is absolutely nothing at all moving on this. It is solid as can be, and when it's deployed, it's also extremely solid. I mean, zero blade play. You could probably open this blade and throw it off a building, and it would damn near be fine if you didn't chip the blade. You could drop a brick on it, it'd probably crack the brick, but no blade play whatsoever. Very, very good lockup. This knife is a tank when it's closed and when it's open. But when it's like halfway in, like right here, there's a little blade play. And I don't know, I looked at it, this has some type of proprietary hardware up here. This down here is just T8, so very easy to open down here, but this up here has some proprietary hardware that I didn't realize it at first, and I didn't ask my brother for the tool, so I haven't opened it yet. I don't know if it needs to be tightened, because as you can see, it's shaking. It's not ideal, but no way whatsoever shaking. Once that locks up, I mean, it is absolutely rock solid. So I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if that's a machining thing. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just it's a little. I was kind of surprised by it, but I will say, and I can say this with 100% certainty, when this is locked, there's nothing to worry about. Nothing whatsoever to worry about. So I just thought I'd point that out. But again, it's closed, and there's absolutely no shaking. This thing is super, super overbuilt. I'm just so surprised at that little rattle there. So I don't know what exactly that's about, but I just wanted to point that out. The handle and ergos on this are really not that bad. And a lot of that is due to the thickness of this guy. Like I said, coming in at 0.52 inches in thickness, it kind of sits perfectly on my index finger right here. And I go to close it, kind of the fat on my lower part of my finger here, and then my fingerprint area just squeezes it really well. And it really don't feel that bad. It's a perfect thickness. It's thicker than you would like some knives to be, but for a knife this small and you're relying on pretty much a one-finger pinch, it's really not that bad. Not that bad at all. So you can kind of hold it like this and do anything that you would need to do. And it also works really good in the pinch grip with your finger on the blade right here. That would be just as nice if you need to open up packages or whatnot. So, like I said, I guess it comes down to what you really expect in ergos from a knife this size. I don't expect much. And I think for what I expected, I got more. So no real complaints there at all. And like I said before, I'll say it one more time, this thing is just incredibly overbuilt. Good titanium, great blade steel, what look like pretty solid screws down there. I'm a little interested on how that thing opens. First I thought it may have just been a Phillips head screwdriver, but the that little plus sign there is not deep enough to fit a Phillips head in. There's no way that would work out very well. You'd probably end up screwing it up. So there must be some type of tool to open it with. But I've never been a real fan of proprietary hardware. I don't think outside of Microtechs, I don't think I own any with proprietary hardware. So those are never really a great thing, especially on a custom. It's nice to have that, not have to worry about having to have that tool to open it up. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of complaints. The action's a lot better than I thought it'd be. The action, as you guys can see, the past couple times I've opened this, I'll probably screw it up now, but no, it's opening up really well. It definitely takes risk because it's such a thick, small blade. I'm actually surprised at how good it is, as is. It has bearings in there, as you guys can see. So bearings should be expected on a knife of this caliber and this price. So I like that those are on there. And again, this flipper tab is nice. It's I'm usually not a big fan of a flipper tab like this. I like to have a little more that's more of a guaranteed flip out. But you get your finger on there, your little flick, and it pops out pretty quick. It's kind of fun once you get it down. This one takes a little practice on getting the action completely down and knowing just exactly how much wrist to give it and all that's needed. But once you get it down, it's pretty fun. And as you can see, it makes a pretty satisfying little thwack for such a tiny guy. It's fun. It really is pretty fun. But that's pretty much all I got for this. I didn't want to keep this one super long because there's really not a whole lot to say about it. But I thought it was a real interesting piece. And it's always nice to have a custom on the channel every once in a while. I'm sure at some point, hopefully, I'll have at least a couple more. But no, that's it. What do you guys think? Would you carry something like this? It'd make a great little fifth pocket carrier. You could even, you could even make some type of, be a little heavy, but you could put some type of lanyard or necktie on it, and it could be a neck knife. Probably not an ideal neck knife. There, the first whiffed flip of the video. We're going to leave that in there, though, because I've already recorded this one about 7 times. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you have any customs? Do you want a custom? What is your grail knife? Here's a light question. What is a grail knife of a custom? If you had to pick one custom, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.